Hi everybody, it's me, Janice. I'm back with a card this time. I'm still needing some more thank you cards for all my Christmas gifts. So I need to make a few of these cards and show you how I did it. So let's get started. First of all, I have a base that is an A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is what an A2 size card is. And basically I just took this paper from Recollections, the South Beach pack, and it's cut at 4 1/2, or no, 4 1/4, folded at 5 1/2, and you can use a bone folder to get a good crease on your card, especially if you're using really thick paper. This paper is, you know, it's not the thickest, so it's okay if you just kind of fold it over without scoring it. Then I took a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 and I ran it through the Polka Dots Cuttlebug embossing folder. I can't remember where I picked this up. I was looking for it forever. I think I actually found it at Michael's, but my Michael's tends to run low on Cuttlebug stuff. And then I have a piece of this paper. It's that double-sided paper that I used on my layout. I got it at Target. Oops, I just bumped the camera really bad. Sorry. Let's see if I can get myself back in line here. I got this at Michael's. Scratch that. I got this K & Company paper at Target. Really cute papers, and it's double-sided, and I love double-sided paper. Okay, so we're using this side. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. And I'm going to chomp just the bottom corners. And I'm going to use the stub side. That happens to be my favorite side. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. And then do the other side. Love these corner chompers because they can do a lot of thickness at one time. And then you empty the little bits in here, in case you're not familiar, and then it just folds up. Okay, and so those are our layers. And I did add some faux stitching. I did a line, dot, dot, dot type of pattern, but you know what? Before we do that, I'm going to use this. This is a anti-static bag. Stampin' Up! Sells it, Michael sells it, Joanne sells it. It's over in the stamping department. And you just eliminate the problem of the bits of embossing powder jumping because of static to other areas of your paper. It really does help. I'm going to use this little thank you stamp, which came from Joann's, little thank you set I got at Joann's. I'm just going to stamp that right there in the corner. And then I'm going to get my embossing powder, which happens to be white. I like using white embossing powder better than white ink. I just like the way it looks better for me. And then I'm just going to heat it. And this paper turns color for some reason, but then it goes back. Isn't that interesting? And then, of course, like I said, we'll go ahead and add. I didn't want to do the stitching beforehand because I didn't want to run the risk of my embossing powder trying to stick to the ink on the, on my stitching. I don't know if that would happen, but I just didn't want to find out. So I am really pressed for time these days, so. But I still like to make time to craft every day, just because it just makes me more relaxed. less grumpy, let's just say it. Less grumpy, yeah. So I'm just doing line and then 3 dots. Sometimes I change it to just do, you know, dash marks. Just depends on my mood. Sometimes I do X's and lines, or X's and dots. Okay, so that part's done, and this piece gets adhered, this white piece gets adhered down to the blue piece. Like this. And then this piece is going to get a piece of, this is seam binding, which my husband got for me on eBay. And I just have this cracker box, and I just dump it in there. And what I'm using is Perfect Pearls mist, and it's turquoise. And these mists really are very subtle. The red isn't so red, and you know, this blue isn't so blue. It came with a red. It came in a pack at Michael's. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, see, it's called Interference Red. It's very light. And this blue is very light as well. If you want something with a lot of color, the smooch tends to have more color in my experience. I know there's so much to choose from now out there. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and spritz it. And I put a paper towel down there so I wouldn't get any other colors from other projects, because underneath this paper towel it's quite a mess of different colors, and I missed a couple spots, so I'm going to go back and then you could also do this on your craft mat and just make a puddle and just, you know, get your fingers all in it. See, I'm just kind of spreading it out with my fingers. And I'm going to get my craft mat anyway and dry it, because it's soaking wet now. And I like to use my tweezers to hold it in place. You could just do a bunch of this and just let it dry overnight, but I just like to do it as I go, unless you're doing a lot of the same card. I'm only doing probably only maybe 1 or 2 more of that card. I get bored and then I have to change. There goes my ribbon. Is it still wet? It's a little bit wet still. Okay, it's turning brown, so I better stop. Okay, so now I'm going to tie it in a bow, and I have this goofy way of doing this, but I just take a block, and I choose the size of the block based on what I'm trying to cover. So see how this is almost the size? I could use a little smaller of a piece of a block, but this will work fine. And that's how I know that it will, the ribbon will wrap around. And so I just tie my little bow on here. It's kind of my third hand. If you've been watching my videos, you've seen me do this before. But now, if you see here, another little trick to getting your bow to lay nicely, even if you're tying a bow on a box, see how it looks, I don't know what you call that, but it's kind of like, I don't know, but it's just not what you would think. Like normally you hold it like that. So if you go like this, your bow is guaranteed to lay nicely every time. And so I'm just gonna adjust my bow here. Okay. And that's why I like to do it on the block, because I can kind of pull it tightly to get it like the way I like it. And then let's trim, and then we'll go ahead and slip it off. So now we have like a ring, looks like a napkin ring. I'm just going to cut it kind of to the right here. There's my washer is done. And now I'm just going to tape it to the back. It's just regular Scotch tape. Okay. And one reason I like this tape, this seam binding, it's very, very thin, and so when you do your bows, you don't get a lot of bulk. That way, it won't have trouble. You won't have trouble with it going through the mail. If I'm hand delivering a card, then I know I can just add all the bulk I want and make it really dimensional, and you know, just kind of the sky's the limit. But it's nice to kind of keep the bulk down when you're mailing it. Okay, here's my little ice skate. I got it from Winter Woodland, and this is a pearlescent paper, and this one is a prismatic paper. And I got both of these, I think, at Ross or Marshall's or something like that. I don't remember who the manufacturer is or anything like that. And I did run this one through that polka dot embossing folder. And I cut the skate at 3.5 inches. And here's the little bow. I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue here. Okay. On the original, I added a little flower there. Something with that flower is not. I don't know. I don't know why. It's a very nice little flower. I don't know what kind of problem I have with it. But I'm not going to do it again. And that's it. Now we're just going to pull these off. I added some of my homemade dimensionals, which I make with Fun Foam by running it through my sticker maker. I get the kind that has adhesive on one side, so then I just have to run adhesive on the other. I have some, if you go back on my videos, if you're new, just go back, and I have a couple videos actually showing how I did that. Okay, and that's it. That's my card. So hope you like it, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.